It is your classic metal show right here on the classicmetalshow.com. That Armored Saint from La Raza release with Left Hook out of right field. And kicking off the show tonight, we heard Megadeth with In My Darkest Hour. And once again, Armored Saint with Last Train Home. And all three of those songs dedicated to our fallen brother, Bob Nalbandian. And here's a guy who can certainly appreciate the tribute, my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
What is up, sir? Awful day.
It is an awful day. I mean, we almost considered not doing the show tonight, but we couldn't allow the opportunity to celebrate our brother.
Right.
And at least, give him some kind of a tribute and, celebrate his life a little bit. This was going to be kind of a, year-end fuck around show, and the unexpected left hook from right field took us by surprise yesterday, and now it's changed into kind of a memorial.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I know I told you yesterday I didn't want to do this, and I didn't want to do it this afternoon. That I was like, we gotta fucking do it. It just too important of a friend not to. But I ain't gonna lie, I am fucking wrecked.
Yeah, I get you, man. I mean, it's I've talked to several people, gotten texts back and forth. It's a devastating loss, and we'll probably second hour we'll probably talk about Bob and what he meant to us and our show, and as a friend, and what he contributed to the the music community, and
right,
all that kind of stuff. But it's just a very sad day for music fans, metal fans, hard rock fans who knew Bob and his work and knew him personally.
It's been good to see that people get it. I don't know if you've looked online at all at anything, but lots of great tributes. Nobody really saying shitty stuff. Which anytime anybody dies, there's always that line of people that can't wait to say, "Well, fuck him, he was a dick," whatever. And it's good to see that it's been kind of a universal sentiment of what a great dude, know. So, and that's from the top down. I mean, I don't know if you saw Lars put something out, and Mustaine, and just everybody, all good stuff.
Yeah. Well, Bob was a good guy. I've hung out with Bob on at least a half a dozen occasions over the years, and obviously you didn't have an opportunity to meet Bob in person, but you've developed a friendship and a business working relationship with him, and
sure.
Over the years. And I know there was an opportunity just at the COVID shutdown that you were going to fly out to Northern California and go to the screening of one of the Inside Metals, the Bay Area Godfathers, or thrash.
Right.
And unfortunately that got shut down due to the draconian tyrannical government. So that didn't happen.
No, dude. And how I was saying this to somebody earlier today, me, getting me to travel, that is a thing. and I for probably the first time in how long committed to traveling.
Sure.
Like bought plane tickets, bought hotels, because of Bob.
Yeah.
And then of course the government stuck their dick right in all of our asses here and shut it down with fucking COVID. But whatever, man. I mean, that's, it is what it is. I mean, this today, yesterday, it's sad. And I wish I could say it was surprising. I know for a lot of people it is. I know even for you didn't know, like until last week or whatever, when I told you.
You told me like 3 days before Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, those of us that were in Bob's kind of close circle, and I think I obviously was in Bob's close circle. We talked all the time, and he's been going through this for a while. This is not, it's not like he suddenly got sick. He's been going through, he had a I don't know what you would call it, if it was a new cancer or if it was a
Rare.
recurrence.
Yeah.
I know it's rare, but I
Mhm.
don't remember if he'd had it before and it went away, but it came back, or if it was a like, you know, a recurrence of the old one. But I don't know, 7, 8 months ago, might even have been longer. He got the word that it was back, and he was going through chemo, you know, and it was such an odd thing because he would call me from the hospital that he was at. You know, he'd be like, "Yeah, man, I got 2 fucking hours, man. You know, you got some time to talk?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, of course." And you know, we talk about everything, man. You know, the history of metal, lots of that. But I mean, he would review the shows. You know, he would call me up and be like, "Dude, you just seem like you were pissed off this week, or Neeley was fucking angry, or whatever." You know, he was still Bob, you know,
Right.
even though he was going through a tremendously difficult time. And, you know, it just, he ran out of options. That's the worst part. I know, you know, we can pull back the curtain now since his family put it all out there, but um I reached out to you, what you said a couple days before Christmas, and I just kind of said to you, I said, "Hey, if you haven't, you know, make some contact with Bob. He's really, really sick." And you were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah. I
You
wasn't
know,
aware of it at all.
Dan. Well, and that's how Bob wanted it, man. With every conversation that I had with Bob, it always ended with, "Don't go on the air and tell anybody about this. Don't tell anybody. Don't not even close friends." He's like, "I'll tell people I want to know." And I was like, "Okay, man, you know, whatever." And it really is he didn't let anybody know. You know, I mean, he really, of the people that I know, the only other person I know that knew he was sick was Matt. Matt that, you know, I do aftershocks with and he did skull sessions with. You know, and you know, like yesterday I had the distinct pleasure, and pleasure in quotes and just fucking makes my stomach hurt, but I was the one that told Ellefson yesterday. You know, I hit Ellefson up and I just told him, I said, you know, Bob passed. And he was like, "What the fuck? Who, how long has he been sick? What's going on?" You know, he didn't know either.
Mhm.
And he was in that camp. I mean, Bob was in that camp and he just kept it quiet. I mean, that's how he wanted it. And you know, in most ways, I guess he went out the way he wanted to go out, which was, you know, quietly, without a ton of fuss. You know, I know, and you know, he would hate this. He would hate us talking about it.
Right.
He would rather it just be like, "All right, man, you know, Bob's gone, but let's talk about the new whatever." You know, that's who the guy was.
Right.
And, you know, just a sad day.
It's it wasn't exactly the way I wanted to wrap up the year, that's for sure.
Hell no.
You know. So you know, I just thought you know, since we're doing the show tonight and we will talk about, you know, I'll get into, you know, some of the stories that I have where Bob is
Sure.
concerned, and we'll talk all about that. But we're going to give the fans a chance to call in, not specifically about Bob. If you want to talk about Bob, that's cool. But if you have something you want to tell us, or you know, kind of unburden yourself a little bit, or what 2022 was for you, whether it was good or bad or indifferent, or you know, whatever the case may be, we just want the callers, the fans, to reach out, and you know, we'll chit chat with you as much as Chris hates that shit.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, you are definitely right, man. I did not want to do the show today. I'm sure when I texted you this afternoon, you thought it was going to be me saying, "Yeah, I'm not doing this."
Right.
You know, and I almost didn't. I was talking to people this afternoon, and I just was like, you know what? You know, what am I going to do? Sit here and cry or sit there and cry? So
Right.
here it is. Enjoy.
Well, you know, obviously we promised the fans we would do a show on New Year's Eve, so here we
Right.
are. Year's Eve. It didn't play out the way that we planned it, but we're here, and we're gonna give you a show. I don't know how long we'll hang in there. We can't promise you a whole 6 hour show,
Yeah,
but
probably not.
we'll hang out as long as we can, and we'll talk to some listeners and talk about Bob and that kind of a thing. So that's the plan, and we'll hang in there as long as we can. And if we
Sure.
choose to pull the plug, we'll pull the plug.
Works for me.
So that's how it is. So you'll get some of our greatness before the
Yeah, enjoy. It's
right.
it's gonna be very uplifting tonight.
Well, I came dressed for the occasion tonight, so
Guess so.
so I'm ready to I don't know, reflect a little bit.
Sure.
Obviously this has been a tough year, not only for the recent loss of our friend Bob, but for me personally, it's I lost two siblings within 9 months of each other.
Yeah.
Which that threw me for a loop, obviously. And you and I lost our good friend Steve Krause this year.
Yeah.
You lost a friend in the Cleveland scene.
I did. Yeah, Chris Dan from Hate Core Inc. died on Monday.
Right.
It's just like, wow, what a week. Ooh, yeah. It's been a fucked year. I don't care what anybody says. It was better than COVID because we could actually go somewhere, I guess, but not by a lot. Just seemed like this is the year that I don't want to say this was the year that the coof shot set in, but whatever. Something set in, and a lot of people died very young. And this has just been a painful year, man. Just painful.
Right.
No other way to put it.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. And this has been an odd year for me as well, because there's stuff that I normally like to do. I like to get out of town and go. I like to go over to the city of Pittsburgh a couple times a year. I didn't do that. Didn't catch any ball games this year. Didn't travel it much, and didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, I worked a lot,
Yeah.
Obviously we did the show pretty consistently all year. And I did go on that Kiss cruise, which was completely unexpected.
Sure.
So it's been an oddball year. So not the happiest of years, in recent memory anyway.
No, definitely not one we're going to look back on and be like, oh man, 2022, what a fucking lovely time. Really not. It's just been, I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, just what is there to look back on? You know how everybody, you look at the year and then you try and say, well, this is what I'm going to do next year. I looked at that today. I was like, well, you know what? I'll be happy to do anything next year because I can't think of one fucking super fun thing that I did this year. Nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, aside from, unexpectedly going on the Kiss cruise, as far as anything just like outrageously fun this year,
yeah.
I bought a few new guns.
Yeah.
And but aside from that, it hasn't been an eventful year at all.
No, I think the most, I went to a couple of outings with John and Stephanie and Kelly, a couple of times, but literally a couple of times. And the only thing I can really point to that I was like something that I had not done before was when I went out and met Mariah for the first time.
Right, exactly.
That's the only thing I can point to, and I can be like, oh, there's that. All the rest of it has just been lots of work, lots of stress with work, been busy. That's good, I guess, is that, been busy, got to take another year off of going to a real job. That's pleasant.
Right.
But, I'm just looking at this year and it just, friends dying, heavy metal television up and down and dying, that friendship dying, with Eric, it's like everything on my plate is just like a plate of shit stew. It's like, ugh, awful year.
Yeah, I get you. Well, let's just hope for the best. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best, as the old saying goes. And
Exactly.
I'm not going to dwell too much on it. Aside from the bad news that you had to give to me yesterday, I don't think I talked to you, since before Christmas. So, did you do anything on Christmas? Did you go anywhere? Did you hang out with anybody?
On Christmas Eve, I went over and spent an evening with my mom and my niece and two of my kids. We did like a Christmas Eve dinner because my kids were doing Christmas Day with their mom. So we did that, and that was it was low key, but it was fun. We had a nice dinner, and the interesting thing was my mom for some reason broke out all her horror stories about her as a kid, and that was kind of funny. My kids hearing my mom talking about partying hard and running the bars and because that's their grandmother. They expect their grandmother to be their grandmother.
Yeah, to be pristine grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, and my mom, she was talking about, your dad used to work, and then we'd get home, and then we'd get a babysitter for you, and we'd go and close the bars in Bedford down at 2:30, and then we'd go to somebody's house until 5, and we'd only come home because the babysitter needed to get let loose and take a shower and go to work. I was like, holy shit, no, this is where I get it from.
So this was before any of your recollection.
Oh yeah, well, some of it, I mean, we had these two babysitters, Jackie and June. They were sisters. I still talk to them. They're on Facebook with me, actually. And they were our babysitters. And we knew them quite well, but I guess I never really put two and two together why we knew them so well. It's because my mom and dad were rip running the streets. They were out running around partying, and they were paying Jackie and June to watch us.
Right. Wow. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Did I know you're not big on the receiving gifts and all that stuff, but did anybody get you anything cool that's maybe unexpected or
didn't get a gift, didn't give a gift?
Yeah, well, it's the same for me.
I've made it very clear to my family that I don't want gifts and I don't need gifts and I don't want to give gifts. Dude, it's just, to me, it feels like trading money.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. That's
here's $100 for you. Okay, well, here's $100 for you. Enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll just keep my 100.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. You know how I feel about the whole presents thing.
Mm-hmm. Like I want nothing to do with it.
I was done with that decades ago. So, again, this, I feel very fortunate in my life that I've been able to afford a good lifestyle and, own the things that I really want to own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need anyone to go out and get me something.
See, that's what I've told all of my family and friends too. It's like, you know what? Whenever I want something, there is never, ever, never a time where I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's November 28th. Let me see if somebody gets me that for Christmas. That is not a thought that enters my head at all.
Right.
It's like today, my Apple TV officially died that I've had for like 9 years or whatever. It just dropped dead today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was dead 10 minutes. It probably was still warm before I had another one ordered. I'm not going to sit around waiting. Well, my birthday's in 10 months. Maybe somebody will buy one for me.
Right.
No, I'm getting it. That's it. I'm getting it. I'll use it, so I'll get it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I didn't do anything at all. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I was, I had 5 days of nothing but peace and quiet. Obviously, the country got racked with some, pretty harsh temperatures and, a little bit of snow. And, there was just no reason to go anywhere or do anything. I mean, it was just, I just was watching that temperature drop, Christmas
so
Eve,
cool.
Christmas Day. And, it started out in the 30s and then it was like 10, then it was down to 0. Then I woke up, it was like 2:30 in the morning or so, and it was -10 outside. And I was just, holy shit, is it dropping quick?
Right. Yeah, it was cold, dude. That was a whole issue with my mom was me, I'm not getting out there shoveling any fucking snow. long-haired Mike taught me that you don't shovel snow.
Yeah.
And I'm not shoveling snow. So the snow, we didn't get a ton of snow, but it drifted real bad because the wind was blowing 50 miles an hour or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Just brutal. So of course I go out to start my car on Christmas Day, and my car starts. I was happy about that it started right away. So I went out. The Browns were on Saturday, so I watched the Browns game. And when the game ended, I had to be at my mom's at 6. Game ends at 4:30 or 4:15 or whatever. So I started my car. I ran outside, and it's -10, like you said. It's fucking brutal cold. So I start my car, and I just leave it go for like 40 minutes. I just started the car, and then I came back in the house, let it go for 40 minutes while I grabbed a shower and got ready to go to my mom's. I get in my car to go. I might as well have not started it. This fucking thing was still freezing cold, like steering wheel cold to the touch. And it isn't that I didn't turn on the heat or anything. It's just it was that cold. The car couldn't get warm. So I had to drive this cold ass car out to my mom's, and of course I'm sliding all over the streets. Nothing was plowed, nothing was cleared. It just, I was like, please don't let me crash. Please don't let me crash. Please don't, I don't drive enough to actually be accustomed to snow driving anymore. And the whole time I'm fishtailing back and forth, and I'm like, why am I fucking doing this? And then my mom has this like really long driveway. So getting out of her driveway at the end of the night, where it's been snowing and blowing snow again all day, or all evening while I was at her house, I was like, motherfuck. But I made it. I crawled home. It took me, my mom lives in Kent, and from here to Kent, what is that? 15-minute drive?
If that.
Maybe? Yeah. And it took me about 50 minutes to get home.
Sure.
Because I couldn't get over like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The whole time. It was just fucked up. So yeah, not the funnest time, but it was fun to see my niece, and it was fun to hear my mom telling like really war stories about doing shots and partying and stuff.
Sure.
I honestly wasn't really ready for that, but she let loose. I was like, okay.
Wow,
that's feisty.
Yeah, that's cool though. But the thing is that you've told stories about, with your mom being the banker for Belkin and getting all those tickets and being able to, go to shows that you did, meet a lot of people that you did as a young person, and that was definitely an existence that a lot of people don't have the privilege of.
Sure.
As a younger person, and being influenced enough to meet the D. Snyders of the world, and going to see Led Zeppelin, and going to see a lot of live shows and things as a young kid.
Yeah, no, look, I've been very fortunate, and especially it's the weirdest thing, because when I look at it and I think about the fact that my dad was so not that way, it really, when you think about that time, dude, if the wife was into something and the dad wasn't into something, 99% of the time, that meant it didn't happen.
Exactly.
In that time period in the 60s and 70s. And my dad was always pretty cool about just being like, go, especially once I turned like old enough to go. My dad loved it. He loved the fact that, my mom could go out and have a good time and probably come home and bang him all happy, but my dad was happy that he didn't have to go and see Led Zeppelin.
Right.
That would have been murder for my dad to have to go and sit through 2 hours of drunken stone Jimmy Page on guitar. That would have drove him crazy. And I think he liked the fact that I would just go, and I couldn't wait to go. And, I'm very fortunate that I had that. And I honestly think that it was that time frame in my life that put the bug into my psyche that led us to where we are right now.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's great, because it's given me every stupid fun thing that I would have ever wanted to do. I've met everybody I wanted to meet. I've gotten to do so many cool things. Same with you, probably different reasons, but you kind of force fed it to yourself. But Same thing. We've gotten to do everything that we wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I certainly wasn't brought up in a household that, condoned that devil music, that rock
Right.
music. And, I didn't go to my first concert until I was 18.
Wow.
I was a senior in high school. And that just wasn't something that, was supported in my. I look like a pro wrestling manager.
What you gonna do, brother?
That's funny. But so once I was old enough, those were things I wanted to do. So once I was old enough and I, went to college and, ended up living out in LA for 6 years during, the height of the 80s, that allowed me
Sure.
to explore my options.
Hmm.
Foolishly, I was married at a young age, but I got rid of that dead weight pretty quickly. And went about my business to pursue the things that I wanted to do.
Right.
And
Now, I'm curious. I don't think I've ever asked you this about the marriage, and I don't
yes,
want to dig into your ex-wife necessarily,
go,
but
go right
but
ahead.
do you think that you got married? And I'm going to preface this by saying I know for a fact it's why I got married. Do you think that you got married because it was taught to you that
Yes,
that's what you do?
yes,
You turn 18, you get a job, you get a wife, you have a kid.
that's exactly right.
That's that because I know that's why I got, I was having so much fun in Korea just banging whores. And then all of a sudden I met one. I was like, okay, this is the marrying one.
Right.
This is the marrying one. This is the one I'm going to have kids with, and it was because in my head, it was, that's the next step. That's
Yeah,
what you do.
that's the progression in life. You go to college, you get your job, you marry the wife, you have the house, you settle down, and that's your life. And
Yeah.
then, once I got out to California and realized, well, wait a minute, there's a whole lot of other shit I could be doing. And I was just like, I'm doing this stuff. This looks fun.
Yeah. I wish I would have had the foresight. I wish I would have had, truthfully, I wish I would have had the balls to just fucking quit. I mean, dude, I mean, we got to California. We were married, I don't know, 7 months. And within 7 months, I had the police called on me because me and her got into a huge screaming match and I was just about to hit her. So I went outside and I kicked over a wood fence. I just kicked it over and the police came. And I was like, I should have known right then. I should have filed paperwork right then.
Yeah, just the thought of doing the whole married go normal thing. Once I got
Right.
into it, I was just like, this ain't for me.
I know,
Okay.
dude. Again, I just wish I would have had the foresight or the balls or whatever it is to just say, you know what, this ain't working. Walk away now.
Right.
I should have walked away then. Just walked
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Fortunately, I was able to pay her off to leave and get a disillusioned summary, and that was the end of it. It was just like,
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I didn't have anything at that point, and again, it's all hindsight at this point, but I really look at it. I'm like, I had nothing. I mean, I had nothing. I had literally filled a house full of furniture and filed bankruptcy within 6 months of being in California. I mean, I could have walked away clean. And I was so afraid of walking away
yeah,
that I would have to pay money or whatever. And I just didn't have any money to pay. But now when I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, what would a fucking judge have sentenced me to? $100 a month?
right.
I mean, a judge would have sentenced me to nothing, absolutely nothing. And I didn't. I stuck in. I was like, oh, I can't do that. That'll ruin my life if I get a judgment against me to pay her.
Right.
Oh, what a fool.
Well, I bought the X off with $5,000 and a new car.
Dude, that is, I mean, think about that now. If at this age, what would it have cost you now? If you had been married for the last, let's say 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
just the last 10 years where you started making good money, it would have cost you
$150,000.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. it would have for sure cost you, the next 5 years of paying her at least.
Yeah. That'd be like Anthony Cumia. I'm writing checks, motherfucker.
That's right. It would have been brutal. You got to wait for $5,000.
Yeah.
You got to wait for about the same cost that you would pay to get a new fucking muffler and brakes.
Exactly. like I'm done with this. I'm out of here.
Know. Oh, God. Well, smart for you. Of course, me, Mr. Do It Wrong. I did it wrong. Well, not really. I mean, I walked away. But dude, anybody that could walk away the way I did with literally giving up nothing. I gave up some fucking furniture. That's all I gave up. Furniture. I kept my business. I kept my house. Who fucking does that?
Yeah.
She really wanted to get away from me.
Yeah, I've lost more furniture and stuff to just girlfriends, let alone wives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's all I lost was furniture. Not even a lot. All she took was like the bedroom set, and she didn't really take much.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was one pickup truck worth of furniture. It wasn't even like a moving truck. It was her boyfriend's pickup truck.
Right.
They filled the back of it up with some shit, some side tables and shit, and the bedroom set, and that was it. And out she went. Some books, some pictures. Whoop-de fucking do. I kept the house and the business and didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah. Well, if she hadn't already been involved in a place to go with a new man, it might have cost you more. But this was a deal where I'm moving out of your house and into his house.
And I'm thankful beyond thankful that her dude after me was prideful guy. Because I don't know this to be true. I'm 100% speculating, but just from meeting him and from what my kids have told me and whatever, I can literally hear this guy saying, "You don't need anything from him. I'll take care of you."
Right.
And I'm happy that she listened.
Yeah, sure.
I'm so happy that she listened because I walked away with everything I wanted.
Right. So yeah, it was a quarter century in. I guess you did make out okay.
Yeah, I did fine in mine. I'll tell you what, it's why I won't do it twice. There's no chance that could happen 2 times.
Right.
No way am I going to ever get that lucky. No fucking way.
Yeah. So it was just, it was a lesson learned as a young fella for me. And it was just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
No, definitely not. No more of that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Happy New Year, everybody.
I'm glad you can get some entertainment out of our personal pain and anguish.
Yeah. Well, that's the theme tonight. We're in misery, so here, let us entertain you.
Yeah. Yeah, we could play some Lily and Axe at Misery Loves Company.
That's right.
Or what's that 90s? What's that 90s band? They had that song. Was that David Priner?
Oh, was that Soul Asylum?
Yes.
No. I don't remember. David Priner.
Yeah.
David Priner.
Misery. We'll open up a company called Misery. What is it?
Oh, yeah.
What's that song called?
I don't remember.
Misery?
It might have just been Misery.
Yeah.
Or then there was that other song that, "Hey Misery, hey Misery, hey Misery." I don't know. Was that the Soul? Somebody said Soul Asylum did have a song called Misery. All right, I didn't think I was that far off.
Okay.
Who did the Hey Misery? Was that Spin Doctors or one of those bands?
It could be.
Yeah, all those bands run together to me as shit I did not listen to.
That's kind of why I don't know who did what.
Yeah,
that just wasn't my cup of tea. I just remember hearing it when it was on the
radio. Kill Miller says it was in Clerks too. All right, take it easy.
Yeah, Soul Asylum, Misery.
Yeah, I don't remember any of them dumb songs.
Or Hey Jealousy. That's
it's not Hey Misery. See, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I know Junkyard had a song on Junkyard 2 on 6s, 7s, and 9s called Misery Loves Company.
Right.
So what the hell am I supposed to do?
The Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms. Yeah, there you go. Hey Jealousy.
Right.
Thank you, Ben Benjamin and Neeley. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know any of those. That era of top 40 rock, I really don't know any of those bands. Just none of them.
Yeah. I would just wasn't into that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. But whatever. I knew it existed, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, Wardlaw, the Warlock from the Metal Show, he was all up into that stuff.
Really?
Oh yeah, and when he does his podcast, he has a podcast called The Record Player now.
Okay.
And he and his buddy that he does it with, they like profile all these bands, though that era of bands, that's like what he's into.
Okay.
But I mean, he goes into like the real obscure things. Like he'll be like, this was the 7th album from the Gin Blossom. It's like 7th album. Who fucking knew?
Right.
Who knew that they had more than one album? But he'll be all up in there and be like, oh yeah, this is when they replaced this guy with that guy. And I'm like, wow, good for you for knowing that.
Sure. All right. Well, that just wasn't my whole era of music. It just wasn't my thing, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So
mine either. I didn't know any of those bands.
Yeah. But anyway, well, I can see you're kind of opening up a little bit over there, and
yeah, I got a beer in me. I'm better now.
Swilling your beer.
Yeah, I'm drinking, so I'll loosen up.
What is the what is the bill of fare for your beer tonight? What are you drinking?
I am drinking only the finest for me, Miller Lite.
Miller Lite. Out of a can.
Out of a can. Because it's cool with a K.
Yeah. Now I'm not a beer drinker, as you're well aware.
Yeah.
So do you prefer beer out of a tap, a bottle, or a can?
Can.
Why?
Or a bottle. Probably bottle first, can second. Really depends on what it is. I drop bottles because, especially when I get really going, I tend to drop bottles.
Okay.
So I don't tend to drop cans.
Right.
So I'm much more into the cans of the beer, And honestly, when I'm drinking a beer out of a can, a lot of times if I'm hammered, I'll squeeze it just a little bit to get it dented so that it won't drop. I ain't gonna lie, I do that a lot.
You get your finger holds in there.
Yeah, but like it's such a weird. Even like with beer styles, and this is such an alcoholic statement I'm about to make, but whatever, I'll make it. I was always the guy, then, now, whenever. If I was going to drink a lot, and I knew I was going to drink a lot, I would get like a 6-pack of something that I actually really, really like. Like I like Coronas personally.
Okay. Do you like the whole lime thing as well?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. I like taking the lime, cut it up, put it in it, squeeze it in it so that the juice comes out, and then let it sit for a little bit. I mean, I do the whole thing. And but what I would do is I would drink like a 6-pack of that and then cheap beer behind it. Because by the time you drink 6, then your tongue is kind of burned up on the beers anyway.
Okay.
So you're not tasting it anymore. So then you can go to the cheap beer and get just fucking blitzed without spending as much money. That was my old army trick, was drink like a 6-pack or a 4-pack or whatever of something good. Back then, and this is weird because I have not drank one of these in years and years, but back then I used to drink fucking Lowenbrau. I used to drink, I would get like a 6-pack of Lowenbrau from the Class 6 on the base, which is the liquor store.
Sure.
I would get a 6-pack of that and then a case of like Budweiser or Miller Lite. And I wouldn't let people would come into my room and they'd go to the fridge to take beers. They'd go for my Lowenbrau. I'm like, get your fucking hands off my. I was like, drink all the fucking Budweiser you want, but don't drink my Lowenbraus.
Sure.
Because I was letting it be Lowenbrau as the case may be.
Right.
But that's what I would do is I would drink like, 3-4 Lowenbraus, and then I would move on to a lot of times. And this is, again, my rot gut stomach. I don't think I could do this today, but I would go like straight from that to like, for whatever reason, I used to drink a lot of Southern Comfort. I used to just buy a bottle of Southern Comfort, drink it straight from the bottle, just carry a bottle around the barracks with me. And I would just be swilling Southern Comfort. But first I would have to have 4, 5, 6 Lowenbrows just to clear the palate first before I would drink that horrible fucking Southern Comfort. Ugh.
Here's to good friends.
There we go.
Night is kind of special. The beer will pour. Must say something more somehow. So tonight, let it be the classic metal show.
Nice.
Raise your glass. Here's to health and happiness. So tonight, let it be all the best.
When you're with your friends having good times, don't just have a beer. Because good friends and good times deserve the taste of a great beer. And there's really only one.
Tonight, let it be the classic metal show.
Who made that? Wheezy?
Wheezy made that.
That's fucking funny. I don't even remember that one. Holy smokes.
That's when he made the one of the hooker. You want to go to the hotel, baby? Neely's right. You probably have AIDS.
That's hilarious. Oh man. God, how long ago was that?
It's been at least 4 years.
Well, these fucking years are just flying by, dude.
They are flying by. You know what's really weird, speaking of that,
yeah.
I buy a lot of stuff through Amazon, and so I was, in the customer section of history. So
Okay.
I went back through to see what my purchase history was, and it goes all the way back to 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And I went back through the last, say, as far back as like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some stuff on there that I bought. I'm just like, I thought I just bought that last year. It's like I bought that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's like, this is such a dumb product, but I use the Sweet and Low, for my coffee. And I just buy like 1,500 packets at a hit, just because why buy less? It doesn't really go bad. You just fucking buy a big box of it and you keep it by the coffee machine. It's there.
Right.
So I ran out the other day and I had to buy a box. So I bought a new box. So I went to reorder it and, did the same thing. I went through the orders. I'm looking. The last time I bought this shit was 2.5 years ago. And I was like, holy fuck. Did I get 2.5 years out of this fucking, it seems like I just bought it, but it was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
Well, speaking about buying stuff, did you ever get your Brickhouse Nutrition wild berries?
Yes, I did.
Did you try it?
I did. It tastes okay. It's all powder to me.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't taste like eating grass clippings.
No, it's definitely better than the super greens. I will say that it's better than the super greens. So I'm actually kind of doing one super greens and one berries.
Wild berries.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm doing 1 and 1, and it's better. It's definitely better than fucking eating out of the mulch bag.
It's what the horses eat.
The super greens. I'm not gonna lie, it does make me feel better. I do feel like I'm like feeling a lot better, like a lot more energy and a lot more. I mean, obviously with the getting dehydrated and stuff, I've really been kind of focused on that a bunch.
Right.
But I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better now that I'm taking, these powder supplements and, which are full of the right nutrition and all that other shit between the two of those and a whey shake for protein. I'm plus a dinner every night. I'm getting the right amount of shit into my system to where I feel better.
Good.
I'm not ready for a nap every 10 minutes anymore. So that's good.
Well, that's good to know. Glad Chris Aiken has taken care of himself.
Well, I'm trying a little bit, I can't be the cockroach of metal if I fucking eat myself to death.
Right, exactly.
So I just have to kind of try, and as much as I hate it, I have to admit my age and be like, all right, now I have to stop eating this bullshit and, take a little less, eat half of a sandwich instead of a whole one, and all that bullshit, which I fucking hate. I hate it. Look, fat guys like to eat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fat guy. I like to eat. And it is definitely torture to not, but I'm trying to play by the rules as best as I can. So
right. Well, I'm glad to know that you're doing better and sticking with it and feeling better and being healthier and all those things. It's a conscious effort on my part to do that every day. It's just like, well, I'd really like to have a pizza today, but I guess I won't do that.
I think that's the hardest part of it. And look, I'm going to be clear here. Nobody should feel sorry that the fat guy is struggling to lose weight. I'm a fat piece of shit. I got there myself, and I'm the only one that can fix it. So go ahead, keep on mocking the fat guy, as all the YouTube people do every single day. That's fine. I do love that. Somebody called me the best insult I got was this week on YouTube was I forget who we were commenting. Oh, we were commenting on the girl that was that's presenting for that Hall of Fame thing or something.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That we were asking what her claim to fame was.
Yeah, and we were saying that she kind of looked hot or whatever. And somebody posted in one of the comments, who are you to comment on what anybody looks like, you fucking hairy meatball?
A hairy meatball.
A hairy meatball. And I just laughed. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. Bravo to you, sir.
Meatball.
But yeah, so, look, and that's the thing is I know so many people when they try to get in shape or whatever, it drives me crazy when I see friends or whatever, and they're on fucking line and they're like, hey, celebrate me, celebrate what I'm doing, and it's like, what? So celebrate the fact that I fucking liked pizza 2 at a time instead of fucking, a slice of pizza. Instead of a slice of pizza, I'll eat fucking 4.
Right.
It's like, okay, that's why I'm a fat piece of shit.
Right.
And you can, and now, unfortunately, age is, I'm not 20 anymore where I'm running around so much that I could eat 4 pieces of pizza and it wouldn't stick to me. Now it's like, fuck, I look at the piece of pizza and it's like, ooh, did I just gain a fucking half inch? It's like, oh my God, I'm getting fat looking at food. but now you got to have the discipline, and it blows, and so be it. Be it. Growing old isn't supposed to be fun. I got news for everybody. Everything about growing old sucks ass.
Yeah. Well, Mick Jagger said it best. What a drag it is getting old.
No, he's 100% correct.
Yeah. All right. Well,
sloppy kisses. I'm the Tess Holiday of metal. It's funny.
All right. Well, we've burned up the first hour here, and in the next hour, we'll kind of celebrate the life of our good friend Bob Nalbandian, and
absolutely
talk about how we got to know him, and maybe some of the times that I personally spent with him, and
sure,
and how cool he was to us from the get-go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got some stories too.
So. And I know you pulled a couple of clips that you sent today, which was, I was thinking the exact same thing, and here I ended up in my email box. I was just like, oh, good on you.
Yeah, I put together not many, and they're not long, but they're just little funny.
They're only like 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah,
long.
but they're funny, and they get kind of what Bob was on the show. So, I had a distinct idea, and ironically, I knew right where to find them. So it wasn't like I was hunting around for hours. I knew right where they were, and was like, okay, these will be good. So yeah, we'll play some of that. We'll celebrate Bob's life, and we'll do our best to make it through a tough night.
Sure, absolutely. All right, I'll let you do the honors. Why don't you pick a tune?
All right. Well, I have a whole arsenal of tunes that Nalbandian kind of turned me on to one way or another. So I'm going to stick with that tonight, which means people may love it, they may not love it, but let's start with a band that he featured in many of his documentaries. A band called Stone Vengeance. I watched Bay Area Godfathers 1 and 2 today, and Stone Vengeance was all over it as the black guy. They were like the first black, as in not white, metal band.
Right, exactly.
From San Francisco, and they were all over the documentary. So it seemed like Bob had a good relationship with them, and he sent me some of their music, which is really, really good. So let's go with Time Is at Hand from the To Kill Evil release.
All right, I got that pulled up. So, all right, we're going to play some tunes. We're going to talk about Bob in the next segment. Maybe take some phone calls if you want to contribute to that, and we'll just go from here. So this is something you'll find on one of the Inside Metal documentaries, right, Chris?
That is correct. On both of the Bay Area Godfathers, the guy from Stone Vengeance is in, and I'm not sure if the song's in it or not, but I just like the song.
Okay. All right. Well, here's Stone Vengeance with Time Is at Hand, exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neeley and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job.